Little roadblock today, going to the quarry. A little more wildlife. Pretty much every morning I see these. Deer, turkey, once in a while a bear, fisher cats, all kinds of stuff on the way to work. Alright, just got to the quarry. Got lunch in the oven. You got sausage and gravy over biscuit with garlic, butter, asparagus. Well, you could just call it's leftovers. But let's see what we got for today. Get the skid steer started. Gonna probably do a bunch of pattern. Get all this stuff cut up, get it out of the way. Got a few pieces there from yesterday left over, and probably get that cut up. Probably finish that pallet of 1.5 inch broken. I guess I'll bring the skid steer up here and continue to do what I was doing, getting the forks in there and picking it up, and still really not that great for pattern. It's got some cracks here and there, so I'll fluff it up and try to get a big piece. If I can't get pattern, I'll put it in for a stand-up or broken. I know people are going to say, oh, you ought to cut it up into pattern, and it's a lot easier that way, but once you cut it into a piece of pattern, you're done. Like say if the piece was, there was stone on top of that right there and you didn't see that, once you cut your piece of pattern, then you go to pick your cube up, you've got that right through the middle of it. So now your 2x3 is now 1x3 at the most, and I don't even think you're buying them right now. So the way I do it is I get the biggest sheet possible and pick out a nice, money piece of pattern out of it, and I believe that's the best way to go when you got something like this, because you can see what you're getting. When you're cutting pattern, you can't see down through the block, so you don't know what's there. And once you got it sawed into the pattern sizes, you're committed to, you got saw lines, and they don't want that in the broken. They want natural edges, and so if you don't make pattern out of it when you got it sawed up small into 2x3s or 3x3s, if you don't get pattern out of it, pretty much you got rubbish. You don't get paid for nothing. So this way here, I get paid for the pattern, I get paid for the lay down or the stand up, and in the 1.5 inch broken. I believe that's the best way to go when you have a block like this. Some blocks you can saw them up into 2x3s and they just fall apart, and you put them in the pallet and you get what we call freebies. But this kind of block right here, it's a front block, it's water coursey, it is what it is. Okay, here's a perfect example though. I just took up that piece that I was showing, and it broke off because there was a natural cut through it, and I couldn't see it with the mud onto it. But wedging it up got exposed, and so my point with the pattern, if you had it marked out in pattern, if this piece here was back where it was there, and that was your size you were cutting, when you took up that 2x3 bay after you wet sawed it, if that's the size you were sawing, you wouldn't get anything, because you'd have a crack right through it. So this way here, I have a nice big piece. There might be face on the bottom. When I flip it over, that looks pretty smooth. Face is the part of the stone that's facing up that you see. So that's when I say the face of the stone, that's what I mean. But I'll end up getting probably $50 out of all that. Maybe 3-4 pieces of pattern. And if you had sawed it up into cubes, well, obviously that cube there would have had a crack through it, and you would have got nothing. So that's why I like doing it this way for now, for this kind of block. So I got that piece of stone over to the work section, and I'm going to flip it over. This bottom side is actually a little bit better looking, has a better face, and we'll get that put on tires and get marked out and get the dry saw out and get cutting and get a pallet pattern going. Here marking out the stone, and little Chippy's trying to muscle me around for a peanut already. We got to get to work, buddy. We got to get to work. It ain't lunchtime yet. Alright, I got a couple pieces of pattern marked out. We'll get these cut up and get them in the pallet, and that'll be a good start. Alright, so I got these couple pieces all cut up, just to give you an idea. It's a good solid stone. So with that, pretty much you just saw through the ends, and then the middle you really ain't got to saw through. A lot of times you can just tap it and it'll... Well, this would be something pretty cool to show you. It's calcium deposit on the stone. It's just kind of neat. Really don't affect anything. Just a little layer of calcium deposit. It used to be a defect. I didn't really like it as far as a saleable bluestone, but now kind of doesn't matter. People buy anything these days. I've had people come in the quarry, and I'll give you an idea. Landscapers, they come in, they see stuff like that right there. It's kind of hard to see with the sun, but they see big landscape pieces like that, and they love that kind of stuff. All right, got some tires put down. I'm gonna flop this sheet over so I believe this is going to be the side for the face. So let's get in there and flop it and start marking out some more pattern. Alright, I'm going to try to film this. I got to kind of hold the camera and push the left joystick and the right joystick while holding the camera. And hopefully everything goes well. Look at that. Nice sheet of stone to cut up. Got this one all marked out. I got a couple 2 6x2s and another 2 6x2, and then this one here I ended up getting a nice money stone. It's a 2x4. That pays 50 cents more a foot, and if it was two 2x2s, you would get 50 cents less a foot, because 2x2s pay less, and you'd have to put a line right through there, obviously, to cut it in half. So it's nice getting some money stone like that. It's less work and more money. All right, we got the 2x4 all cut. That was the money stone. Make sure it measures right. 47.5 by 23.5. Now you got to walk it to the pallet. that's that. So I got a couple pieces here I'm going to bump into stand up. Alright, got the stand up broken in half. I'm going to load it in the pallet. Alright, I got a couple more pieces of pattern cut. I'm going to pitch them, clean them up, get them in the pallet. Alright, so this one here has what we call back got to be taken off. So when they lay it down, it's got a little bit, not quite as uneven. Sometimes you can get it like this, and sometimes you got to put saw lines in it. It's coming. That's probably good enough. Pretty good day. Got over half a pallet of pattern. A little more of the broken done. I had an order for natural step type stuff, so I grabbed a bunch of this I had laying out in the pile and a pallet to stand up. Not a bad day. Time to head to the dock. Pulling into the dock. Just picked up my skid steer tires. Put them on next week. $600 down the drain. That was a good day today. Good end of the week. Had got a pallet of steps. Got the stand up. Got over a half a pallet of pattern. It was a good day. I hope you guys liked it. You know, like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Anything. If you want to see something, you want to see me do something different, you want to see me make something different, cut something different, anything. Thanks for watching.